Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right, out here in the lab in the wee hours of the morning. Where I do what I do for you. Yeah, I'm back. I got a good lesson for you today. Let's go. Writism, 25 rules led by storytelling. Story with a message, message in the story for life. These are life lessons I'm giving them. You tune in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. Everybody's starting to come around on that. I'm starting to hear more and more about it. So yeah, right thinkers, we was ahead of the curve. Let's go. Knowing thyself is important in every aspect of life and every walk of life. So understand that. If you're going to live this life, one thing you should be aware of is who you are. So this is the thing. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. We got a lot of them. Disregard them. Not going to work. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do for you. I got you. Stay tuned. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep. I can awaken them spiritually. I'm a spiritual alarm clock. My job is to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right? Think, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I'm going to give a lesson today. I'm going to have a little fun. I ain't messing with them guys for a while, so yeah, I'm getting back to teaching. All right, thinking philosophical aspects. Okay? All right. I'm sorry. All right, thinkers. Let's go. Let's talk about the place we call heaven. And that's that place where everybody plans after this life. The Egyptians called the afterlife. We call it heaven. But guess what? If I ran heaven, I've been told a few times, if I was Peter at the gate, heaven would not be, too crowded. So yeah, I'm a little tough. Okay, but hard but fair. As my kids. All right, let's go. I'll break this down for you. Hopefully you get the lesson. And most of y'all who know me will agree. Now, yeah, if I ran heaven, everyone would not want to come here. Trust me. As my children, again, I make life fair. That's it. I ain't want no fun. Now, watch this. Now, my heaven will be for some people hell. Why? Because if they're ignorant spiritually, they can't make it in. So you won't experience my heaven if you're not spiritually enlightened, if you're not ready to do the things that you need to do here to get there. Sound familiar? It's no different. It's a place that everybody wants to be, but it's a place that some things you need to do to get in. Okay? I run a tight operation. Always did, always will. I don't tolerate ignorance, dumb stuff, ego tripping, all those things that individual people use to do people wrong. I don't subscribe to that, and I don't need those people around. So y'all wouldn't be in my place. Anyway, heaven don't have those kind of people anyway. So my heaven ain't no different. All right. So watch this. Now, if you're, let me see, if you're if you what you won't make it. Okay, if you're ignorant, if you're spiritually ignorant, you won't make it into my heaven. Why? I'm at the door and I sit at the throne for judgment day. But for those who think they can, nope, nope, nope. The eye sees all. Conceptually. All right, here we go. Only these are the people who will get into my heaven, right thinking's heaven. Only the spiritually enlightened ones will make it into my heaven. No spiritually ignorant ones. You can't get in. Same thing now. If you don't do the right thing, you will get to meet Amen. Okay? If your ego run the show at Judgment Day, Amen gonna have his way with you. You get spiritually enlightened, your heart light is by God's feather, you pass on, come on into my world. Okay? Come sit with me. How you go? On the right hand. Now, in my heaven, all is not welcome. Just like the Egyptians heaven, the Hindu, the Indian, and any one of them. If you're not qualified, you won't get in. Why you think the Christians got Peter at the gate? If you're a liar, a false prophet, a swindling preacher, or a teacher of that I call well-dressed lie, you won't make it. Why? Because your heart is going to fail you. Why? Because you're not true to yourself, and that's when it all counts. I don't judge nobody. I'm not the person to judge anybody, but I will judge myself. Every individual has the right to do that because what? At Judgment Day, that's who the judge is anyway. Yeah, you judge yourself. You got your conscience, which is up here. You got your conscience, which is here. This won't be there at Judgment Day. This will. They just figured out that this where the brain is anyway. So we knew that a long time ago. Not beat for that one. But in my heaven, watch this. All will not be welcome. I will be sitting at the throne. And if your heart is heavier than Maya's feather, you won't make it to me. You will get to see my pet, Amen. She's a ego devourer. She loves egos. She eat them for dinner, breakfast, lunch, and whenever it's there, she ready to get it in. Okay, always hungry, just like your ego. It gets what it deserves too. Conception. All right, here you go. Watch this. Only the right thinking masters will be welcome in the upper room where I dwell, aka heaven. You have to be raise your conscious level. You have to be spiritually enlightened to come play at my playground. Why? I don't tolerate bad, egoistic people, false liars, people who believe and not know themselves. They won't be welcome in my house. Watch this now. Purposely. My heaven is no different than anyone else's. Why? Because you have to earn your way in. So it ain't gonna be no different. That's all. Now, if you're rich and famous and you're egoistic, your kind is not welcome. So yeah, I'm present, very much so. Yeah, I got the right to be. If you're not my kind of people, you're not getting in. Simple as that. I have that right. It's mine. Heaven, that place we all want to go, but don't know how to get there. I'm preaching and teaching you how to get where you want to go, which is the afterlife, aka heaven. Knowing thyself by studying and living to show you learn your life lessons, the soul have to get enlightened. That's your job to enlighten it for it to go home. Bam. Okay. The highest spiritual level you can reach as a human, aka Nihas, be anointed, reach Christhood. All those things are the same thing. It's becoming having knowledge of self, aka know thyself. Discover yourself, find yourself, or whatever you want to call it, Nirvana, all these different names that mean the same thing. Like the names, different sayings, but just mean the same thing. Okay, where we at? Okay, watch this. Okay, as a master right thinker, I know the heavenly state of mind. Knowing thyself will bring bliss to your world, aka Hotep, peace. The highest form of peace is when you know thyself, you and God become one. You are at total peace. Why? Because when this is over, this physical body, this temporary shell that you're in, when it's over, bingo, you going home. If not, reincarnation. That's the name of the game. That's where it comes from. That's the concept. That's all I'm saying. I'm rolling with it. Now, heaven is not in the clouds up there, somewhere. Nah, nah, nah. Heaven is right inside you. The kingdom is within you. You have to find that out. God plays a good game, good trick on himself. He divided himself into millions and billions of people and let them figure out how to get back home. Okay? None of them games we to play and take and find your way back home, stuff like that. That's God's way of saying, okay, I'm telling you, live into the world. Find your way back to me. There's some things you need to do. And he got a blueprint. We got people teaching. It's been generational cycle. It's been going around since forever. It ain't changed. You got good, you got evil. It's called duality. Okay? Maya. Another lesson. But right now, let me finish up my head. Let me get this here. All right. What I'm thinking about this concept. Okay, heaven and the cloud. Okay, the physical world is hell. Right here, we in hell. So when the body ceases to exist, the spirit has the opportunity to go back home because it became enlightened, awakened to itself, know who it is, so is welcome home. If it don't know itself, it can't go home. Conceptually, okay, but it makes a lot of sense. My thing is, you don't have to subscribe to it, but if it makes sense, that's what I'm saying. What I try to get across to you, teach, is do it make sense to you. If it makes sense, that means you can understand it. That means you can do it. If it don't make sense to you, we can talk. Okay, so most of it makes sense. That's my question. My point is to get to make sense. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but if it makes sense to you, you gotta make it sense. Let's go. Heaven is also that spiritual place, aka the mental state of mind. Free the mind and body will follow. Yes, the kingdom of heaven is where? Within. But you have to find out for yourself. A lot of us get caught up in looking out in the world, looking for everything out here in the physical world. Spiritual, the sixth sense, everything is mental. What's inside here, okay? With knowledge of spiritual truth, now what? You can live in those truths and grow spiritually and become enlightened with knowledge of self and live a fruitful life here while you're here. Do the things you want to do, knowing that if I continue to function at a level here spiritually, spiritual discipline, live by the rules, guidelines, take my blessings. When this is all over, I get to go home like all enlightened spirits do. Unenlightened spirits get reincarnated. It's just that simple. Ain't no other options. And all you fixed travelers, well, maybe I want to be religious, I want to be spiritual, but just in case the spirituality don't work, I want to be religious. No, you can't do that. You can't serve but one master. Simple as that. Become spiritual, and you can fellowship with religious people, but even religious people got to be spiritual at a certain point. They say, worship him in spirit and in truth. I'm giving you spiritual truth. I'm giving you his truth. So understand that. All right, so watch this. Heaven is reached through what? Life experience. Hello. Living my yacht and using your spiritual discipline when daily on a regular basis, it becomes a way of life. Right thinking philosophy says this is how I live. This is what I profess. This is what I do. I try to teach you and you can do it too. That's the whole point. Let's go. Moving on. Heaven is what? Knowing thyself and what? Living a spiritually disciplined lifestyle. You can be religious, but if you go to church and you live a good Christian lifestyle, that's fine. Then you will be rewarded. You will be blessed with things that fall out your way. If you're a professor of spiritual or religious, when you're going and perpetrating, but you ain't living, you go to church, you look good, you sit up here and you hoop and holler and pray the Lord, but then you go home and live foul. He sees that. That's why I wear the eye. He sees all. They call it the spiritual eye for a reason. He sees your heart. God is a spirit. We have consciousness, which is the mentality. Consciousness. Why? Because we can know God. God and you are one. That's becoming awakened. That's becoming spiritual enlightened. Becoming all the stuff we be telling about. But you have to learn it. You have to live it. It don't just happen. You can't buy it, steal it, or finagle your way through it. You gotta earn it. Simple. Last one, and I'm wrapping this up. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope the lesson's good, but I'm telling you about my heaven, some people's hell. All right, here you go. Now, heaven is not for believers. but know us. Mhm. If you don't know who you are, you can't get in because the password is to know thyself. And if that's proven by what? How you live. How did you live? My state of mind, aka having knowledge of God, is heaven, not believing in God. You can't reach heaven just believing in God or Jesus. Same thing. If you want to continue to believe the world just lied, yeah, you will just believe in heaven, never reaching the heights that you claim to want. Why? Because you're going the wrong way. Heaven is not a place to believe in. It's a time and time and place. It's a concept, but it's eternal. It's the eternal state of mind. It's a concept. It's a consciousness that you have to experience. It's called a mystical experience, the enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. But if you have it for yourself, that's the only way you can get it. Every individual is responsible for him or herself getting knowledge of self to what? Improve and live to know thyself. If you're living for anything else, knock yourself out. You can get a mulligan. You'll be back. Your ego and your consciousness will be taken away. Spirit goes on to another body. Simple as that. Amen gets to eat the ego. Right thing of philosophy is heaven is when what? You reach that state of consciousness of being one with God, aka blissed out. When you know you, through Christ, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, it don't make a difference. But once you know you, you reach that state for a reason. You got there by whatever means you did, it's fine by me. It don't make a difference. But when you get there, enjoy it. I do. Excuse me. What's that? In our heavenly state of mind and righteous with our heavenly state of mind and righteous living, that's right thing of philosophy. What? That's heaven right here on earth. When you live right, do right, and be right, the blessings will put heaven right to you on earth. You can experience it right here and now. I do every day. Try right thing of philosophy. You'll find out it's a way of life that will bring you benefits. Trust me. I got more. I'll be back.